शाहलाल बत्रा।
हाँ, धन्यवाद सर। भारत की
ओनली 7 मिनट्स, 7 मिनट्स।
7 मिनट भी नहीं है तो मैं बैठ जाता
हाँ
हूँ।
बोलो 7 मिनट्स।
अभी तुम्हारी पार्टी को बहुत टाइम पड़ा है।
बोलो बोलो 7 मिनट्स बोलो, जल्दी बोलो।
बोलिए। भारत की पावन भूमि पर 1867 में पहली बार रेल आई थी और 67 से लेकर 1925 तक इसका इतना रेवेन्यू बढ़ गया था कि 1925 में सेपरेट बजट आ गया था जनरल बजट के मुकाबले में। इसका मतलब दूसरा ये हुआ कि उस टाइम में विस्तार इतना हुआ था और विस्तार होने के बाद बिजनेस इतना आया। लेकिन आज जब एक पार्टी अपने दम पर बहुमत लेकर आई है और बहुमत लेने के बाद उनके ही रेल मंत्री ने बजट पेश किया है, तो मैं बड़े विश्वास के साथ कह सकता हूं कि मंत्री जी ने एक संकल्प से और विश्वास से उस बजट को पेश नहीं किया और ये कह दिया कि हमारे पास इस रेल को इसका आगे विस्तार करने के लिए या और चीज़ के लिए धन नहीं है। उन्होंने कहा कि हम पैसेंजर का किराया तो 23% लेस पे दे रहे हैं, ठीक है, और फिर ये कह दिया कि हमारा 94 पैसा ऑपरेशन पे खर्च आता है, सिर्फ 6 पैसे रुपए में बचते हैं, यानी 6% बढ़ते हैं और उसमें 602 करोड़ हमें बचे। 602 करोड़ के पीछे कहते हैं जो विस्तार कैसे करें, क्या करें। वैसे मैं बड़ी सोच के साथ ये कह रहा हूँ कि इन्होंने किराए में बढ़ोतरी तो की, लेकिन सब इस सदन के शुरू होने से 15 दिन पहले की। आज जो हमारे प्रधानमंत्री जी हैं, आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री जी का विचार था, हाँ, आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री जी का विचार था और उन्होंने 2012 में जब वो मुख्यमंत्री थे एक पत्र भी लिखा था कि जब संसद शुरू होने वाली हो उससे पहले बाई ऑर्डिनेंस अगर कोई किराए बढ़ते हैं तो असंवैधानिक हैं, नहीं होने चाहिए। समझ नहीं आ रही कि जिनके विचार थे यहाँ सत्ता में आते हुए उनके विचार क्यों तब्दील हो गए। फिर इन्होंने सारे हिंदुस्तान की जनता के साथ कितना भेदभाव किया। 14% किराया बढ़ गया, ये भी समझ आती है कि इतना किराया ज़रूरी था। लेकिन बम्बे में जो डेली कंप्यूटर थे जो 80 किलोमीटर तक जाते थे उनके वृद्धि वापस ले ली। मैं समझता हूँ कि अगर एक प्रदेश के साथ ये इंसाफ हो सकता है कि उनकी वृद्धि बढ़ाई, तो दिल्ली के साथ जो सारे भारतवर्ष का ये कैपिटल है और जहाँ सब लोग आते हैं, या दूसरे प्रदेशों के साथ जो डेली पैसेंजर हैं उनके किराए क्यों नहीं घटाए गए। ये भेदभाव शुरू में आते हुए वो पार्टी जो भेदभाव के खिलाफ रहती थी, वो पार्टी जो समानता के हक में कहती थी कि हम सब एक हैं, हम सब भारतीय हैं, हम सब एक है, तो ये दृष्टिकोण मुझे समझ नहीं आया कि दृष्टिकोण उन्होंने कैसे किया। और मैं तो आदरणीय मंत्री जी से कहना चाहूँगा कि सबसे पहले तो इस भेदभाव को ख़त्म करें। ये भेदभाव क्यों हो रहा। आदरणीय मंत्री जी, आज हमारे 125 करोड़ से ऊपर की आबादी है। रेलवे मंत्रालय एक ऐसा मंत्रालय है जो सबसे बड़ा मंत्रालय है और इसमें जो रोज़ के पैसेंजर हैं 2 करोड़ 30 लाख सफ़र करते हैं और 2 करोड़ 30 लाख के तकरीबन 20% भी नहीं बनते, कम बनते हैं। तो इसका मतलब ये हो गया कि 80% बाई रोड ट्रैवल कर रहे हैं। 80% जो बाई रोड ट्रैवल कर रहे हैं तो रोड का किराया भी बढ़ता है, लेकिन फिर भी लोग रोड को प्रेफर कर रहे हैं, रेल के नहीं आते। ये भी मैं समझता हूँ कि 30% आबादी, 30 से ज़्यादा % आबादी हिंदुस्तान की गरीबी आबादी है और वो रेल में इसलिए जाते हैं कि रेल सस्ती है, ठीक होनी चाहिए। लेकिन जो वहाँ जा रहे हैं 80%, तो क्या हमें उनके लिए नहीं सोचना चाहिए कि हमें अपने विस्तार के लिए, अपने इस पैसेंजर की वृद्धि ज़्यादा हो, उनके लिए आकर्षण के लिए कुछ ना कुछ करना चाहिए कि 80% उनकी संख्या हो। आज रेलवे का मुकाबला रोड से है। आप अगर गुड्स की बात करें तो 1950 में 90% गुड्स बाई रेल जाते थे, फ्रेट यही चलता था, लेकिन आज सिर्फ 35% रह गया। और उस 35% पर क्यों रह गया कि आप फ्रेट का हर साल बढ़ाकर आगे चलते जाते हैं और जो कारपोरेट सेक्टर हैं वो आहिस्ता आहिस्ता जा रहे हैं। कौन से कार सेक्टर हैं जो कारपोरेट सेक्टर जो आते हैं, चाहे कोयला हो, चाहे ऑयल हो, चाहे दूसरे हों, कोल हो, पिग आयरन हो, सीमेंट हो, फूड ग्रेन हो, फर्टिलाइज़र हो और कंटेनर सर्विस हो, ये मजबूरी में कर रहे हैं। लेकिन सारे कॉर्पोरेट सेक्टर सोच रहे हैं कि हम रेल से कब मुक्त हों, हम अपनी लाइनें कैसे बिछाएं, हम अपना कौन से साधन लाएं कि जिससे हमारा इतना बोझ ना पड़े। तो मंत्री जी हमें सोचना होगा, जो 90% पे हम लेकर 35% पे आ गए और उधर 20% से भी कम नीचे चले गए, तो ये बढ़ोतरी कैसे हो। इसके लिए एक हमें सोचना होगा कि हम रेल को सुरक्षित यात्रा कैसे बनाएं, हम रेल में एमिनिटीज़ कैसे लाएं, हम रेल के लिए एक कैसे वातावरण करें कि रेल के पास सरप्लस भी हो। बड़े अच्छी विचारधारा आई थी कि हर साल हम रेल के किराए को रेल की जो कास्ट आती है उसके साथ जोड़ दें। एग्रीकल्चर को अगर एमएसपी से जोड़ते हैं तो इसको भी अगर जोड़ दें, हर साल वृद्धि हो जाए तो किसी को भी बोझ नहीं महसूस होगा। अगर डीजल की, दूसरे ऑयल प्रोडक्ट की कीमत बढ़ जाती है, कोल की कीमत बढ़ जाती है, तो ये कैसे हो सकता है कि रेल उसी किराए पे हो। आपने सिर्फ ये वाहवाही लेने के लिए कि हर रेल मंत्री जो आता है वो किराया नहीं बढ़ाता, इसका मतलब मैनेजमेंट अच्छी है। मैनेजमेंट मैं अच्छी उस दिन समझूंगा कि जिस दिन हम पैसेंजर के या फ्रेट की अपनी वृद्धि बढ़ाएं और हमें सेल्फ सफिशिएंट हों। उसके बाद एक बात है, इस बार बजट में आपने पीपी मोड या प्राइवेटाइजेशन या ये कहे कि हम इसको कह दें कि दूसरे सेक्टर में दे दें, तो उसके पर जोर दिया है। मैं ये भी समझता हूँ कि ये चुनाव जितने अब तक चुनाव हुए हैं सबसे महंगा चुनाव था और उस महंगे चुनाव के लिए काफ़ी कॉर्पोरेट सेक्टर ने इसमें अपना कंट्रीब्यूशन दिया था। ये जो हम प्राइवेटाइजेशन करने जा रहे हैं और ये जो हम पीपी मोड में करने जा रहे हैं, क्या हम उस सेक्टर को ओबलाइज करने के लिए तो नहीं ला रहे कि हमने सारी पॉलिसी चेंज कर दी, कि हमने सारी पॉलिसी चेंज कर दी कि हम प्राइवेटाइजेशन कर देंगे। प्राइवेटाइजेशन में कौन आएगा? हिंदुस्तान का आम आदमी नहीं आएगा। हिंदुस्तान का जो डेवलपिंग कंट्री है वो ये पेश नहीं कर सकता। कौन लेगा कि वो आदमी सेक्टर ले जाएगा जिसके पास पहले बहुत पैसे हों। अगर उसके पास पहले पैसे हों तो फिर हम दूसरी तरफ एक जा रहे हैं कि गरीब और अमीर के अंदर जो खाई है उसको और बढ़ा रहे हैं। अगर और बढ़ा रहे हैं तो हम किस दिशा में चल रहे हैं, हमें अपनी दिशा निर्धारित करनी होगी। दिशा निर्धारित करेंगे तो हम ये सोच सकते हैं कि ये जो चीज़ है हमारे लिए ठीक है। आज मैं ये कह सकता हूँ कि हमने किराए के बढ़ाने के लिए, या मैं कहूँ कि रेल को अच्छी तरह हर प्रकार सुरक्षित और अच्छे साधन चलाने के लिए उनके इनकम का, उनकी आमदन का कोई न कोई साधन सोचना होगा। उस आमदन के साधन के लिए आप कैसे करते हैं? कभी ये नहीं आया कि रेलवे के पास एनपीए कितने हैं, नॉन परफॉर्मिंग एसेट कितने हैं, ज़मीनें कितनी पड़ी हैं। और मैं कहता हूँ कि बड़े बड़े शहरों में रेल लाइन शहर के अंदर से गुजरती है।
Yes, please. Take one more minute.
मैं तो मोस्ट लॉ अबाइड हूँ, आप कहें मैं यहीं रोक के बैठ जाऊँगा।
नहीं, 1 मिनट और बोलो, ठीक है।
आप मालिक हैं। हाँ जी, और एक साहब आपका कहना,
अरे आपका टाइम,
कोई बात,
अरे आपका टाइम, आप बोलो।
आदरणीय मंत्री जी, एक मिनट, आदरणीय मंत्री जी, मैं ये कहना चाहूँगा कि जो लाइन्स शहर के अंदर से गुजर रही हैं और वो लाइन ज़मीनें इतनी कीमती हो गई हैं, वो रेलवे की हैं। अगर रेलवे लाइन वहाँ से हटा के शहर से बाहर कर दें तो दो फायदे होंगे। एक तो सुरक्षा की नीयत से सुरक्षा ज़्यादा बढ़ जाएगी, एक्सीडेंट कम होंगे, और दूसरा उस ज़मीन को बेचकर आप बहुत अच्छे आमदनी ले सकते हैं, बहुत अच्छे कार्य कर सकते हैं। इसके साथ साथ जो दूसरे भी ऐसी ज़मीनें हैं जिस ज़मीन पर हमारी रेलवे की ज़मीनें हैं, कोई कार्रवाई नहीं, और उसके पर हम अगर पेड़ों की प्लांटेशन भी कर दें तो इको फ्रेंडली भी होंगी, ग्रीन बेल्ट भी बन जाएगी और उससे आपको आमदनी भी होगी। मंत्री जी, एक जो है, जब तक हम दूसरे साधन नहीं सोचते तब तक हमें बात नहीं बन सकती कि हम इस रेलवे को आगे कैसे चलाएं, ये रेलवे की तरक्की कैसे हो, लोग रेलवे में लोगों का विश्वास कैसे बढ़े। आपने ये कहा कि इसमें एस्केलेटर भी लगेंगे, लिफ्ट भी लगेंगी, ताकि जो सीनियर सिटीज़न हैं या जो बीमार रहते हैं या लेडीज़ हैं उनको आने जाने की सुविधा ना हो। एस्केलेटर कितनी जगह पे लगाएंगे? हमारी आबादी इतनी है।
Now conclude, please.
मंत्री, चलो आखिर में मैं तो एक ही महीना कि आदरणीय मंत्री जी, आपने कोई नई रेल लाइन नहीं की। रेल लाइन पिछले बजट में हुई थी, सर्वे चल रहा है। हरियाणा के हुए कि यमुनानगर से ये गए थे चंडीगढ़ तक, या हम क्या हैं अलवर से मेवात तक सर्वे चल रहे हैं। अगर आप उन रेल लाइन को मंजूरी देते हैं तो मैं ये समझता हूँ कि हमारी हरियाणा की गवर्नमेंट अपने 50% शेयर पहले देने को तैयार है, और आप उसको आगे बढ़ाइए। जो आप साधनों की कमी करें वो साधनों की कमी नहीं रहेगी और विकास भी हो जाएगा और लोगों को एक भावना आ जाएगी। हरियाणा बहुत छोटी स्टेट है, बहुत गरीब है, उनके पास कोई साधन नहीं है, लेकिन अगर यातायात के साधन बढ़ते हैं तो उनमें आमदनी भी बढ़ेगी और आमदनी बढ़ने के बाद हम विकास की तरफ चलेंगे।
थैंक यू
धन्यवाद।
थैंक यू।
मैं फिर धन्यवाद करता हूँ।
थैंक यू। श्री राजीव चंद्रशेखर।
Sir, thank you, sir. Sir, I will not touch on the issues of the dismal passenger experience, the declining freight share, or the underinvestment in the rail network that my colleagues have already touched on. But let me start by saying, sir, that in recent times, the Indian Railways has begun to look more like a historic relic, making hapless, ambitious but hapless statements, rather than the vital player in the Indian economy the role that it could really play. Sir, I had in the run-up to the railway budget said that the completion of existing projects, investments in passenger safety, increase in freight market share and introduction of new technology should be priorities of the Modi government's first railway budget. And with the thrust on safety, consolidation, passenger amenities and fiscal discipline in this railway budget, I believe that the budget is well-rounded and more importantly, a much needed and feasible plan. Sir, let us be very candid and honest. The railways today is an unviable operation, barely generating enough to meet its operational costs with little or no headroom for investments, and therefore unable to prepare itself and its customers for the future. By shunning big announcements and focusing instead of rebuilding, the railway minister's move to focus on completion on existing projects, especially operationally important projects, and ensuring funding of the last mile for these projects is the right move, as even my senior colleague Ram Gopal Yadav had requested, sir. So, railways and its finances both need reorganizing to make it viable and a sustainably growing organization. The railways earn 1,40,000 crores of revenue every year, and as I have said before in the House, and some of my colleagues have said before as well, the people of India cannot blandly accept that the railways does not make money and the taxpayers and the public have to continue to fund it, diverting money from other pressing priorities for the poor and development. The railways, sir, must generate enough surpluses to meet its own investment and survival plans. It owes that to its traveling customers, employees and pensioners. Sir, I believe, sir, the only way to get there for the railways is structural reforms. The commitment to structural reforms is fleetingly mentioned in the railway budget and the minister's speech about separating the railway board into operations and new project. I believe it is a good first step, but I will caution the minister that this is not enough. Deeper restructuring and reorganizing of the railways is necessary, both to create focus and also to facilitate outside investments. Sir, I would urge him to look at the aviation sector, where the airports, passengers, and cargo businesses are all separate entities, allowing different types of management and investors to be aligned specifically to those functions. I would, sir, go as to, and I would echo what Mr. Mahapatra and my colleague Mr. Ramakrishna said, to separate the company, to the rail department into rail infrastructure, which will be intensive, investment intensive, passenger operations and stations into another operation, and bulk freight operations into an India Rail Cargo division, all under maybe a new structure of a holding company called Indian Railways. So this kind of reorganization and restructuring will bring in the necessary financial discipline and customer focus that modern professional rail operations and financing need. The skills necessary to run passenger operations serving and satisfying millions of our customers is very different from planning expansion of the rail network and deploying technologies to improve throughput and so on, sir. Sir, I will just make 5 brief points for the minister.
Beware of the time
constraints. Sir, I'm aware, sir. 4 more minutes. Sir, the debt service fund to meet committed liabilities and setting stringent targets is a good idea, sir. But again, I will echo what a colleague of mine said. What the railways also needs is a fiscal responsibility charters that prevents future ministers and bureaucrats from playing financial roulette with its future. I would urge him to enact an amendment that prohibits announcement of any new project unless its financial viability and financing is secured. So second, on the issue of freight, I just want to make a brief point that the business of freight in the railways can become much more profitable if the minister assures us that he will review the well-known fact of rampant revenue leakages and price fixing in bulk freight in the railway, sir. The freight corridor requires 9 lakh crores of investment, and unless he reforms the bulk freight business as is, it will not be possible to raise the investments. So third point, the railways and its customers need more technology to leapfrog into the future and establish a platform for the future. I would suggest, sir, that the minister create a position of a chief technology officer within the railways to develop a multi-year technology upgradation and investment plan. Sir, there has been a lot of mention of PPPs. I, sir, believe that private capital can and must play a role in the future growth of the railways, but I caution the minister about PPPs, and there is a recent CAG report that talks about the inconsistencies in the PPPs within the railway so far. So the PPPs have become, in some cases, a reason for the railways to lose revenue, and there is a quote that I want to make from a General Manager Western Railways letter that says that the continuation of the existing agreement is going to severely undermine the earnings of the Western Railway. So it cannot be the case of any PPP that the railways suffers as a consequence of the PPPs. I would urge the minister to frame transparent guidelines for PPPs and share them with the House and indeed the public to avoid any ad hocism and, of course, discretion and corruption. So last point, I have one suggestion, sir. Passenger bogies today, in the name of advertisement, are being covered with advertisement, including the windows. Sir, I believe this practice must stop, because one of the experiences of train travel is to be able to look out of a window and see the outside. So I would urge him, sir, not to treat passengers like sardines packed into a goods wagon, but to leave this whole concept of advertising covering the windows and let the passengers at least get a good look outside while they suffer the service inside. So let me end by saying that the railways is and will remain for the conceivable future a vital part of the complex equation of our economic progress that will transform India. The railways must be structurally re-architected to meet the challenges of the coming years. The last decade of mismanagement has brought us to this pass of no other alternative. I am glad, sir, that the Modi government has taken the first step in this direction. But I would caution that this first step is still a small one, and some giant strides are required to complete the transformation of the railways into a sustainable investing entity that is a vital part of the nation's economic transformation, sir. Thank you, sir. Jai Hind.
Okay, thank you for adhering to the time.
Thank you, sir.
very much. Now, Professor Saifuddin Sos.
Mr. Deputy Chairman, sir, thank you very much for allowing me to participate in the debate.
Sorry, I could not call you
I have
early.
a lot of interest in rail development in our country. Otherwise, I would not speak. I would not speak at the fag end of this
No, you have
debate.
to speak from here. This is your mic.
I will speak here. Very nice.
During the day, you may
So,
have less number of people.
no, but there is a different point. I will prove that for future. Sir, I don't grudge the Honorable Minister's assertion that is a very good budget, very remarkable budget. So, but he is not correct there. But I give him one credit this time. He sat through the debate, made his notes, he showed patience.
Thank you.
That's a very good thing about the minister. Sir, BJP has a majority, and I had expected, not only as an MP, but as a citizen of this country, I had expected that there will be generational shift. It's an incremental budget with so many flaws. I will not repeat what LOP, Honorable LOP and other members spoke from this side. I will make a couple of points, keeping the time constraint also in view. So therefore, this government could give a very good budget that would answer the requirements on ground. But that this Honorable Minister has failed to do that. I will prove just now. Just before the Parliament session, the Minister came forward for a 14% increase in passenger fare and 7% increase in freight. And this is a too much increase. Perhaps they have an idea, this is the first year, by passage of time, people will forget about it, and in the last year of their government, they may not increase, because they think people have short memories. People don't have short memories. They had expected Achhe Din. This will leave bad taste. 14% is not a joke, and 7% increase in freight. And then again is this, कि जेब काटने के बाद ordinary passenger को मारपीट करने के बाद they have shown their taste and culture for providing luxury to an area of this country, and that way they will be losers over a period of time, because they will see that people rise, they will create a commotion in this country. I will shortly come to the bullet train, how that can be justified in this country. And this increase the minister allowed just before, you see, the parliament session was away just for some days. Now, Honorable Minister talks of cleanliness and he talks of safety. I wish him well if he gives cleanliness and if he is interested in safety of the people. I wish him well because he will show efficiency. But I want to caution him. The cleanliness and safety will not come through pumping money into the railways. It is just the determination of a minister of railways that will create the atmosphere of cleanliness. There is staff available. Many of them don't work at all. Cockroaches and other, you see, insects are in the first class, you see, compartments. And this cleanliness and safety, it is a situation in the mind of a railway minister. I have been too much in both houses of parliament, and I saw the efficient ministers rubbing shoulders with us. I remember before me there was Mr. Patil. I never saw his work, but he is remembered here as a very capable railway minister. But I saw Madhavrao Scindia, to mention just one name. Another name is Ghani Khan Chaudhary, who was very slow in talking, but he was a man of action. Peace be upon his soul. Peace be upon the soul of Madhavrao Scindia. And Madhavrao Scindia started turning a new page for railways. Unfortunately, it was ill luck of this country that he died in an accident. As a railway minister, I saw him turning a page for the railways. And I learned from him at one point of time that cleanliness can come through an attitude of the minister. It is in his mind. If he is, God forbid, lazy, he doesn't take care, he just goes to office to fight with files, that is one thing. But if he wants a change and if he wants to serve India's cause, then he will give us cleanliness, he will give us safety without spending a penny. So therefore, I want the Honourable Minister to take notice, to develop a situation in his mind to keep the trains clean. With the same, I raise a question, I have raised this question before this August House. Within the available resources, Mr. Deputy Chairman, sir, you are a knowledgeable person. This is my conviction. Within the available resources, Indians' life can be fuller and richer. We don't require more money. We require consciousness. We require awareness of our resources. So if the Honourable Minister sensitizes his mind, he can give us safety, he can give us cleanliness without spending money. And there is a budgetary provision for cleanliness which I disagree with. There is a budgetary provision for safety. There are so many safety measures in law available already before the minister. It will be an attitude of his mind that can change the shape of railways in this country. Now, since I said I will say only main things in my mind, I can't repeat. This PPP and FDI, it will be a failure for the minister. I say it with all sense of responsibility. Next year, I may or may not be here. But one thing, all my colleagues who are here, God willing, they will be alive to see minister declaring zero achievement in PPP and zero achievement in FDI. because PPP is a situation. It can never help him in building infrastructure for railways. And FDI has been opposed by all the unions. Why? Because strategic network will be in difficulty. And this is my challenge to the minister, that you can never achieve infrastructural development in railways through FDI. Let me tell him this thing. And then, sir, coming to cleanliness and safety, the minister compares India with China. We cannot compare with China at all. I am not afraid of China's development because they have a central authority. We are a democratic country. Perhaps our free is far more free and compared to anywhere in the world. So China is no good example for comparing India. We are a democratic country. We have difficulties. We don't have central authority. But when you come to the development map and compare India with China, with assertion, you go wrong. It is an attitude of mind, awareness, cleanliness, safety. In China, China was 15 years ago, China was behind India in real development. Now they are far ahead of us. I raise a question with the Honorable Minister. Raise a question in your mind. Do Chinese travel on rooftops of trains? Why do Indians travel on rooftops of trains? It is an attitude of mind. If there is a minister who wants business, it will stop the next moment and the general manager will be told. He doesn't want anybody on the rooftops.
Please conclude.
And it can stop. That instruction can be given. So don't compare with China. China is far ahead. There is no question of comparing with one. Now, sir, bullet train. I heard with rapt attention what the LOP said. And so many, you see, members have repeated it. Now for Bombay to Ahmedabad, for the elitist class, for the crore-patis, as they did in the general budget, responding to the aspirations of the same corporate sector that had helped them in the paid news. That is now a question with the Election Commission of India. Now, Honorable Deputy Chairman, sir, it is a 500-kilometer stretch and it means 120 crores per kilometer. Where will you get 60,000 crores? जेब काटने के बाद, ऑर्डिनरी गरीब लोगों की जेब काटने के बाद, आप elitist class को दे रहे हैं. I assure this house, as an individual, I will raise this moment for Indians. How can you spend 60,000 crores on this stretch, 500 kilometers bullet train? Is that the need of this country? With this level of poverty? With this level of below the poverty line people? हमको शर्म आनी चाहिए कि हिंदुस्तानी हमारे जो हैं वो below the poverty line अभी हैं. और आप ये जो luxury करते हैं, it is 120 crores per kilometer.
Okay, please.
And the same budget gives, Mr. Deputy Chairman, sir, only 100 crores for techno-eco studies. Is that money enough?
Okay, please.
If you had organized a survey, it would yield you. It would yield you reform on ground. You have not done that.
Please.
Now
conclude.
So,
please
no,
conclude.
Sir, just a moment for Jammu and Kashmir. Now, for Jammu and Kashmir, I caution this government. You should resist the temptation of taking credit for the development that has already been achieved by UPA second, UPA first. Now in Jammu and Kashmir, when Modi ji went to Katra, he created a situation as if he was giving this railway development to people of Jammu and Kashmir. See the speech. He should have been cautioned that on the same stretch Dr. Manmohan Singh was invited. At the last moment there was some snag. And he was told it could happen after two months. And when Modi ji went there was no contribution from this government. And he should have readily agreed that this was accomplishment of UPA. Second, he didn't do that. And now I raise the question, Udhampur and Katra rail is not moving. He should have this information that snag is there. Now you can make a contribution. I will finish in 2 minutes. Now you can make a contribution, Mr. Minister, through you, sir. I am telling him that you start with imagination. You complete the stretch from Katra to Banihal and do it in record time. Then I will salute you. Otherwise, you have nothing to show to people of Jammu and Kashmir. And what about surveys? From Jammu to Doda, from Jammu to Punch, survey is completed, but there is no development there. is a road, it's a train, it's a track on which army also travels. And coming to Kashmir, where rail development has been a great success, and thanks to late Prime Minister Shrimati Indira Gandhi, because
please. Now,
when
please
Modi
conclude.
went there, credit was
Please
given to
conclude.
somebody else.
No,
now
please.
I'm saying surveys should be completed. In Kashmir, there is a celebration of railways. It travels from Anantnag to Baramulla. It travels
Okay.
from Banihal to Baramulla.
All
it's
right.
a celebration. Now complete it. Go to Udi, go to Kopwara. It will be a great development. And this minister, when he rises to speak, sir, he must assure me that Kashmir will be on the railway map of India.
Okay.
As of now, it is not.
Assure the House.
It's a
Okay, that's
celebration,
all.
but it is incomplete.
Okay,
When he
please.
rises, he must say he will get Kashmir on the railway
Okay.
map of India. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now, Sri G. N. Ratanpuri. Absolutely.